How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Harroway with us, and he can say his name and what he does in the band.
What's up? I'm Matt, vocalist from Harroway. What's happening?
There we go. Awesome. Well, Matt and I had just the funniest time trying to set up a Google Meet, and it turns out that we both sent each other Google Meet links. So, that's just how it works here, apparently. But we're here, and that's what matters, and that's what's important. So we got it all done. But wanted to obviously, of course, give a shout out to Ophelia. I feel like I am like part Australian now because I have had so many Australian bands on within like the span of, I don't know, probably like 2 months or something now at this point. So I feel like if, the prime minister wants to send me some like documents to become like Australian, I'll do it. That'd be sick. So,
And they'll be sending him through Ophelia. So.
yeah, pretty much. But I wanted to give her a shout. She's awesome. So keep killing it. But Matt, I wanted to ask, I'm sure you get asked this a lot as well, but how did Harroway start out? How did you get your members? How did kind of the band form? I'm a huge nerd about finding out about how bands start and formulate. So, spare no expense. Just give me the details. So how did that kind of all come to be?
Okay, so Harroway is somewhat of like the breakdown of another band and then the recreation of a new band, essentially. So
From the ashes.
Basically. So we were in a band before called Maybe I'll Live Forever. And we were in the process of recording our debut album in America. We went to New Jersey to the Graphic Nature Studios.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
And then we probably made that big trek way too soon in our music career because the band basically fell apart after that. Not necessarily. So it's like, I bear no ill will to this member, like this old member at all. We've spoken since we're friends now. But our drummer, who was also the singer at the time, just after we got back from the States, after we tracked tracked everything, because we didn't get to finish all the tracking over there, we had to come back to Australia and track over here as well. He just stopped talking to everyone. He just ghosted everybody for 2 years. And then we were like, well, we kind of got to keep going. Like, we're going to make that decision of, are we going to keep doing this, or...
Oh, my God.
Did we just drop 40 grand on an album to call it quits? So after 2 years of waiting for said member to rejoin and whatever, we reached out to him and we're like, hey, dude, like, we're just going to keep going on without you. And then he replied for the first time in 2 years being like, yeah, I understand.
Oh, my God.
So
what
that was fun.
Oh, my God.
And then we were just, Maybe I'll Live Forever was kind of like, we just felt like it was a very 2010 band name. And we were just like, we wanted to start fresh because we had gained some traction at the time as that band in Australia, but it was just too associated with the old member.
Sure,
being, the vocalist and everything like that. And then so we were like sitting around trying to figure out what the band names were going to be, and it came down to like two, and it was like Masquerade or Harroway, and there's already like 50 billion Masquerade.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Even though Masquerade did win the voting thing, like the system that we had set up, it had won, and then we ended the call that we were on with the other members, and then me and Jordan were just like, I don't like it. I'm like, I think we should just go with Harroway, and then we were like, yep, and then called them back and we're like, we're going with Harroway. And everyone was like, okay. And then it became Harroway. So that was how we got our band name. And then after that, we started to... We decided we didn't want to waste the album that we had just recorded because we just spent... And crazy amount of money on it that we couldn't afford to waste. Plus, it was still basically us. It was me on vocals, so it was like still the same sound.
Sure.
Essentially, it was just yeah. So we used that as kind of like a stepping stone into our the new band. So we released Bloom in the Dark Room, which is our debut mixtape. We advertised it as a mixtape because we didn't want to do an album. That was like we knew the direction of the band was gonna change a lot, so we didn't want
Ugh.
So we dropped a mixtape, and then COVID hit basically, and then members just started dropping off left, right, and center. And now the only two original members of Harroway from the beginning, and maybe I'll live forever, me and Jordan, who's our bass player. But we've since recruited. I'm very happy with our lineup now. I feel like it's very solid. Josh Gemmell on guitar, Anthony. See, you know how you're notoriously bad with saying names. I'm dyslexic and I don't know how to read my guitarist's last name. I want to say Carnell, Anthony Carnell, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm gonna stick with it.
Just stick with it. Yeah.
We just call him Ant.
There you go. That's it. That's all you need to know, really.
And then Jack Palmer on the big tubes.
Oh
slapping the tubes. And that is who Harroway is right now with our coming into this release of our debut EP.
I'm very excited. That's coming out on the 28th, and we're recording this on the 23rd. So, at least for me in the States, it's obviously the 24th for Matt. So I know time zones, guys. Okay, I get it, but I'm very excited. Obviously, glad you're in better waters now because I feel like $40,000 worth of recorded material. That is, oh man, I can't even. But I'm glad that everything kind of mulled over smoothly because I think sometimes with bands that can be a little bit of a rough patch, and I'm glad that you guys kind of figured it out. Everybody kind of went their separate ways peacefully and just kind of ultimately got on with whatever they were doing. So, and I'm glad you're continuing on and doing, creating music because oftentimes I feel like if I was stuck with that, I think I would feel a little bit apprehensive to start another band or kind of reformulate a band from a previous band just because I'm like, okay, I put $40,000 worth of money into this band and we traveled to the States and we did all of this sort of stuff only for us to kind of be the drummer's like, yeah, I'm out, see you later, goodbye, and then he just leaves, and then it just that would just not sit well with me. You are a bigger man than I am, Matt, because I feel like I would be incredibly frustrated, I think.
Oh, I was super frustrated at the time. It is I'm speaking very much being almost 5 years into the future from this happening. So I'm very much at peace now, but at the time I was pissed.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's the only rightful reason.
More so because I was the one of the old members who is in the band now was so determined to wait around for him to come back. That was just basically oh yeah, he's going to figure out his issues and we'll come back. We can't do kick him out. We can't do anything because he's the singer of the band. He sings and drums at the same. He's such a key part.
Sure,
which was true, but I mean, the moment we got back from the States, I knew we started to flake. So I started getting singing lessons. I started learning how to sing properly. And to be fair, I wasn't good enough at the time to retrack his vocals, but I was prepared to do that as just to keep things moving.
Sure, yeah.
Obviously, moving into the future, I am now a much better singer. So I have taken the reins of clean vocals as well. But yeah, it's crazy times. I think it's those moments are really what like really make you aware of if you really want to do this or not.
Sure, yeah.
And I really want to do this. So
Well, I feel like continuing on after that, that you have some, obviously, you have some clear dedication to wanting to be in a band and make music. So I got to give you a lot of kudos, Matt, for doing that because you're, like I said earlier, you're a bigger man than I. I think I would have definitely, I think that would have been my moment of like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, kind of a thing. But I think eventually, very similarly to you, it'll probably come around and just be like, I want to do this, even though like, we dropped all this money to make this album. Like, I think you kind of get over it, I think, at some point, and you're just like, listen, I could be mad at myself for forever about it, and that's not going to change anything. But if you're just allowed to just kind of like turn the new leaf over and just start anew, that's like a better feeling than just to be like this angry guy that's just in the corner is like I could be up there, that could be me, like, and just be like grumpy about it. So I feel like, as you mentioned, you're at peace about it, and that's the most important thing, I think.
yeah, exactly. I'm still a jaded musician, but I'm not angry at anybody.
There you go. I didn't say that, so now Matt has that out in the universe. But I don't. Listen. You rightfully so. I think that's a frustrating thing, and obviously, best of luck going further. I'm just gonna put out all the good juju out there right now, and I hope the best for Harroway. So that's all I'm gonna say. I hope the best. I hope that they do well and that they don't have members like that in the future, which it doesn't seem like. So that's a great start. So. Well, on that horrible note, hopefully, you'll go check out Harroway. Links in the description. Please help Matt's journey of just becoming like the biggest band, so then he could be like, yeah. So from the ashes of something terrible, now I'm a huge band, and that's awesome. So that's what I'd love. That would be the true story, the truest of stories, and I'd love that. That seems like the type of story arc I'd want for Matt. So. Let's do it.
It feels like the story arc I'd like to.
I want to let you know, Matt, I did have the opportunity to listen to Burn It All, which by the time this comes out, there will be a reaction video for it, as well as a live reaction review of the new EP as well. So that will all be coming out prior to this, so you can go check that out. We are both, Matt and I are both from the future now, so we've ascended to greatness right now, and that's where we're at. We've time traveled. But I checked that song out as well as Parasite, and I felt like with Burn It All, I was like, I think they got something in the tank, And then I listened to Parasite. I was like, okay, that's what was in the tank. That's what I didn't listen to. That I was like, not that I didn't like Burn It All. I was just like the clean singing, like the kind of 50-50 split you have on both doing the cleans and the screams is great. But I felt like Parasite, I was just like, man, I should have done a reaction video to that one too, because that was great. I almost wanted to just press pause and then rewind it and then do a video of it. But I mean, hindsight's 2020. I'll just listen to it all together. But I enjoyed both of them. But I want to give you a lot of kudos on the clean singing because I know you mentioned you took like vocal lessons. I would have never thought that because I think your clean vocals are so great. I love the kind of like, I think you got like a great like mid range to your clean singing. I feel like sometimes within metalcore music, you have people that are kind of like singing those really high notes, and those are great, don't get me wrong, but I love a band that just kind of can encapsulate that like mid to high range vocals super well, and I think you absolutely crush it. And then just to also be doing the screaming at the same time, kudos, my guy. He's so sick. So I got to give you a lot of love for that. It was awesome.
It's the Post Malone effect. He's not he's not an incredible singer, but everyone can sing along to it. So
That's all right.
no
That's all you
one
need.
has to struggle to try and hit the pitches. or the key or anything like that.
I don't know.
I'm
Your
just
vocals, hit.
straight down the middle.
I think it's tough to belt. I think you crush it with the kind of belting. Like I don't know. There's just something about it that I was like, yeah, that's got some balls to it. That's what I like about it. So I think that to me was like, even if it's like not necessarily inherently hard as a singing style, I just think it works well, and like you just got that kind of depth to your voice that I gotta give a lot of love to, because not a lot of vocalists really kind of are like gunning for the mid range. They're like either like super high or like possibly low, but most of the time it's like that mid to high range. And I think you just like again crush that middle range super well. Is Matt still here?
Dropped out.
I saw that.
I'm back.
I was like, man, did his phone die or something? I hope not. I was like, it is like 9 in the morning there.
I have this stupid thing. My phone is actually on charge right now, but I have this stupid thing on my phone because I was spending so much on social media that I was like, I need to restrict my app. So then I gave my phone to one of the boys at work, and like I had set up like a 15-minute, like an hour timer. So all my social media, and I didn't think this would be considered social media, but apparently to my phone it is, has like an hour timer. So, and I don't know the code to get into it to change, like to take it off now. So after an hour, everything just goes to blackout.
That I want to say, Matt, that is
But
an
it's okay.
absolute first.
I clicked the ignore today, so now we won't cut out again.
I think you should have just went that like, oh man, that's I mean, I like it as someone who, should be less off social media, but also at the same point I'm like, man, just mid interview, that was just like the the most perfect of timing.
I was like, fuck. I was stressing about it happening because I was like, I saw the little 5-minute thing pop up, like, oh, you've got 5 minutes left, like as like a notification. I'm like, nah, it won't happen on this. Surely this is Google.
This is good, yeah. Conversation, this is otherwise we wouldn't be here, otherwise I'd have to travel to Australia to do it, and that seems like quite the excursion. Not that I wouldn't do it, I would do it, but that's great. Well, listen, at least you're not on social media that much, and that's important. You gotta take time.
No, the worst part is that I am.
Oh, okay,
it's
never
just
mind.
a skip. It's 15 minutes. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. That's what it is.
Oh,
it allows me to skip, so it's just all it is inconvenience. The amount of like messenger calls that I've been on that have just dropped out, like I just exit after 15 minutes in, is incredible.
This is quite the rabbit hole I think you've jumped into, Matt. So that's this is interesting. Well, I do not have that. Obviously, I'm doing this on my computer, so it's a little different. But I feel like if I had it on my phone, that might be a good thing. But I don't even remember what I asked because I was so enamored by the fact that it just dropped out. Oh, I was talking about like your mid range.
We were talking about clean singing.
Yeah, we're talking about clean singing. Yeah, so I feel like the bands that I referenced in the reaction video, I think you pull a lot from like two bands that I really love, Currents, and I feel like you give me like a like Moss to Flames kind of vibe. I feel like those two artists. I think if you like those artists, you're definitely gonna like Harroway. But yeah, I think those were like the ones that stuck out to me, and I was like, they definitely have that sort of like vibe to their music. So and then when I listened to Parasite, I was like, okay, it's a little bit more in that sort of Currents direction, but still like super tight. So those would be kind of the artists that I think you pull from, at least like vocally and like also like musically, I think as well too. So
yeah, I think both like basically any of those bands that where the vocalist can transition between clean singing and just like the most brutal screams ever.
Yeah.
Because like they're yeah, like obviously like Jeremy Thingy from A Day to Remember, Sam
Oh yeah.
Carter from Architects, you know, both probably like the top tier of like those transitioning, but yeah, moving forward, like moving like past my childhood influences, like I really admire Brian from Currents because he's fucking next level. When they came to Australia, I was like, this dude is just fucking
Yeah.
unreal.
He's awesome.
But yeah,
I've seen them quite a handful of times. I also had the lovely opportunity to chat with them. That was like I think one of the most. I think that was one of the last interviews I had done pre-pandemic actually. So like that was literally the last interview I had done before like the world shut down. Like I went to go see. I
yeah,
think it was like Silent Planet, Currents, Grey Haven, and there was another band that I'm like completely blanking on right now. Um, but yeah, it was a great tour, and that was like the show I was at, and I was just like, Brian, just man, he's nuts live, and hope to see Currents this year. I know they're doing a headliner here in the States, which I'm very excited about. Um, but yeah, that
yeah. With
he's
like
fantastic.
Monster Flames, that package looks
Yes.
fucking huge.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like Moths to Flames, Invent Animate, and then Foreign Hands is another fantastic band too. They're great. But yeah, it's such a gnarly tour. I'm very excited. Um, but yeah, I think you kind of pull from that like the one main vocalist kind of vibe, but I would say more so, as I mentioned before, like the Currents, the like Mazda Flames, um, and I think you could, with Parasite, I felt like you could go even heavier. So I'm very excited to check out. I don't want to be here anymore, because I think that I think there was some gem heavy songs that I haven't listened to yet that I'm excited to delve more into. So I'm very excited for that process of listening to it. So you guys obviously can join me in the past, but if not, come join me live. Follow me on Instagram. That's the best way to find out about when I'm doing these things. So you're not left in the dust. That's the real thing. But um, but Matt, in regards to I don't want to be here anymore. Obviously, we're recording this in the future slightly, but are you on a level of 1 to 10? I imagine you're very excited for this new music to finally come out and for people to hear. What does that mean to you? Obviously going through the trials and tribulations that we talked about earlier on in this interview, like how much does it mean that this is coming out and being able to be listened by pretty much anyone now?
Oh, it's fucking awesome. We've been sitting on this for a while because we recorded this last year sometime.
Okay.
And yeah, we were just, I feel like this is the best music we've created so
Ooh.
far. And because I was showing a friend the other day and he was like, oh, like is it hard for you to listen back to this? Like, do you just hear imperfections and like that kind of stuff? Like,
Fair enough. Yeah.
oh, can you actually enjoy listening to it? And I was like, nah, I genuinely feel like normally other stuff I would be picking. I'd be like, fuck, I wish I'd tracked that better. I wish whatever. With this, I'm like, no, I'm 100% happy with how like this EP came out. Every song, I think we gave it 110% on every track. We were like so critical about making sure every vocal was perfect. So critical about making sure every guitar track was tracked perfectly, drums were tracked perfectly, bass was tracked perfectly. Like all the little layers that we added in, we were so pedantic about making sure it was 100% the way we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm so stoked on this music, and I'm so stoked to be able to take it on tour for our first headliner
Ooh.
in May around the east coast of Australia.
Very excited for you. Obviously, I live on the East Coast of America. So, if you want to just change that out, absolutely do that. That'd be great, but I'm very excited to delve into it. I think Parasite and Burn It All gave me kind of a good range of different sounds, different kind of things. Like Burn It All had like the more melodic aspects of Harroway, and I feel like Parasite had all of those heavy moments that I was like, okay, can they get heavier? And then you get hit with a breakdown and you're like, oh man, my body, I can feel my bones breaking, like, and that's great. I love hearing kind of the variation amongst the band, and I'm sure there's even more stuff that breaks out and kind of gives me even more like flavors and kind of vibes of Haraway. So, obviously very excited to kind of critique all that stuff live. I think it gives me an opportunity to really kind of hone in on that music, really listen to it with more intention, and I hope that people enjoy watching it. So, definitely, if you are in the past and you're watching this interview, definitely go check that out. But I'm very excited to kind of break it down and be more invested in it. But Matt, I have to ask, do you have a song that's you're very excited for people to hear off of the record? Because I always love to hear people's kind of favorites and what they want people to hear first.
Yeah. I think if you're going to listen to it, listen to it. I listened to it in order because we somewhat wrote it to be played in a sort of like in the structure that it's released in. But my
Perfect.
favorite track is the end track, which is Once More. We went ham on it. There's no singing. It's all scream,
Oh,
but at no like it's just it tells such a story, and the way the music matches the lyrics, like yeah, it's not a song we could release as like it doesn't fit the like kind of like demographic of like a single
sure,
because
sure, sure.
it's like almost I think it's almost 6 minutes long, but yeah, it's one of those songs where it doesn't feel like like it's a long
I
song.
love that.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like it ends, and you're like, what? Like I wanted to keep going, but that's definitely my favorite, and I think it's a lot of the other boys' favorites too.
There we go. Well, I'm excited to just end it off with a 6-minute banger. I love when bands say that, as a comment you made earlier, just listening to an album of yours and like being like, I just love all the songs. Like I listen to it, like as you said, sometimes you can kind of get tired of your music, or you can be very like anal about like, oh yeah, like I think this could be changed, or I think this could be changed, or maybe this could be higher, or like vice versa. But I think the biggest compliment for me in terms of like artists that I really want to check out is if the artists themselves listen to their music. Because if anything, they're beating those songs into the absolute ground. So I think that if they can still listen to this song 1,000 times and still love it, that's I think that's about as high of a compliment as you can get. So I'm very excited to just kind of get into the weeds of it, and so I hope that other people really enjoy it as well, because it's going to be a very fun time.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Awesome. The next question, Matt, I have to ask this. In regards to artists, when you were growing up, were there any specific artists you saw on like TV or you heard on the radio and you're like, I want to do that? That seems sick. Like, I'd love to be a musician. Do you have any kind of bands or groups in mind that really inspired you to get into music?
Definitely. Well, like early inspirations is definitely like Linkin Park
Oh,
and The Used, and um, even Good Charlotte, because my
ooh.
sister was like super emo and like all that kind of stuff. So it was like early, like not heavy metal, but like alternative.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Used to draw when I was in primary school. I'd draw the little flames, like Chester's flames on
Oh, hell
walls.
yeah. All right, all right, yeah.
I got in trouble a lot for that. But the first real metal band, like heavy band that transitioned me was Trivium.
Ooh.
I listened to Requiem of Ember to Inferno, and I was just like, this is awesome. and then moved on to Ascendancy, and I was like, this is the greatest band ever. And I still love Trivium till this day. Like, I went and saw them at Northfest in
Nice.
Australia,
Yep.
and they were flawless as always. And yeah, just such a, I don't know, like, as far as vocalists who can transition between screaming and singing perfectly, Heafy is
Oh,
God
agreed.
tier, essentially. But Trivium definitely were like my gateway into, like, I want to do this. Like, I want to do, not that I thought I could ever be on a level that Matt Heafy is on or that Trivium is on, as far as like being able to write songs like that or anything. But it was definitely my inspiration to like find my own expression of this heavy genre.
Yeah, no, I think I definitely feel like you've carved out, Harroway has carved out their own path as well too. So I love kind of having bands on from all walks of life. I think that's always to me is like one of the coolest things about doing this. But I do feel like, you've done a very good job of kind of keeping with what you know and doing it well. So I gotta give you guys a lot of credit because I mean obviously you know Trivium was a small band at some point, so I'm hoping obviously the best for Harroway because I just mostly feel guilty that you had spent like $40,000 on a record that didn't even see the light of day. So that to me I feel like I gotta champion Harroway right now because that that hurt my soul.
Let's put it this way: the amount of money that we've spent on like this band, I definitely could have bought a house or something. Like,
That's fair. Yeah,
it's not the best. It's not the smartest financial investment, but it speaks to that I love, and I just can't stop. It's a part of who I am. It's a part of what I do. Like, my identity is so intertwined with like this music,
hmm
and I can't see myself stopping. I can't see myself calling it a day. So I'll do it all on my own if I have to. Whether that, like, in the sense of like, if I've got to book tour, like if I've got to book all the tours, I'll book all the tours. If I've got to do all the promoting for the band, I'll do all the promoting. I don't care. Like, if a label doesn't think we're good enough, okay, I'll make sure I prove you wrong. If a booking agent doesn't think we're good enough, I'll make sure I prove you wrong. Like, that's just the mindset I'm going into this shit with now. Like, DIY, just anyone who doesn't think you're good enough, make them regret it. So
that's words to live by. That's how I see myself in doing YouTube. Like I'm just out here plugging away, continuing to just find some of the best artists, and I can resonate a lot with the kind of again the journey that your band has been a part of. I think obviously I haven't sunk in like $40,000 into a band, but I will say I have sunk in a lot of money into doing YouTube. So I think for me it's like I can find that consolidation of things within like my head, but also at the same point I think like it also gives me that same sort of motivation of like I want to prove everybody wrong. I just want to be able to just do this and be the next like biggest, I don't know, radio like star. Like Daniel P. Carter is like, I'm not trying to come for your job, Daniel, but it'd be very sick if I was a BBC One, like that type of top tier kind of guy, I'd be about it. That'd be very sick. So help me get there. I don't know. We'll do it.
yeah,
Every little bit
exactly.
helps.
Aim for the stars because you'll land with the moon.
Exactly. Matt's. I love that. I love the energy from Matt. Let's get Harroway to the moon, guys. Let's do it. Check the links in the description. I'm not afraid to shill for Harroway, and you should check them out because they're awesome. They're really sick. And listen, you can be on the ground level of this band being about as successful as possible. And like, what's a better feeling than being like, yeah. I knew Harroway back when they were a small band in Australia. I'm just saying. So, you can be a part of that. Imagine all the people that like found out about Trivium when they were like a small local band, and now they're like massive. Just saying. Same,
No,
same,
hundred
same
percent.
thoughts process. So
Except I think Trivium got picked up pretty early by Roadrunner.
it's all right. Listen, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that, Matt. Like, we're gonna pretend that part of that conversation didn't happen, but we're gonna believe that they're a
We'll just cut
small
that
local
section out.
band that worked really hard to get where they're at, and very similarly to Haraway, we're doing the same thing. So let's go.
We're doing that grind, baby. We're doing the
Yeah,
grind.
exactly. Matt's got it. So go check them out. But the next question I have for you, Matt, is who influences your style more currently? I love the fact that you mentioned Trivium, probably one of the first bands that I got into as well, joining the scene. But who influences your vocal styling more currently now?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say down that current vibe. I think I very much. If I was to say, if you were to give me like a choice between vocalists if I could pick their talent, I would say Brian, because he's just every song. This new album that they're dropping, I'm so fucking keen for. Um, the last album, it was it The Way It Ends,
The way it
the
ends,
one with
yes.
Monster.
That's correct,
Yeah,
yeah.
um, just an incredible album, front to back. Every single song was killer. His vocal range and styles is just flawless. Like that, as far as I'm concerned, that's top tier. Um, and then like even someone like Courtney from Spirit Box,
Ooh,
such an incredible vocalist. So like I saw them at Not Best as well. Incredible, like flawless. Like just the sheer not only talent but hard work that they've put into their voices,
agreed.
like really inspires me to step my game up and try and achieve that level of skill for myself. Um, Will Ramos is doing
Oh, yeah.
fucking ungodly things with his voice. So, like, just venturing through like learning different techniques and like trying to emulate different styles into this genre, just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, that's So yeah, and then I get compared to Wage War a lot,
Ooh,
Britain,
okay. Okay.
for my screams. Some people are like say that I sound like Winston from Parkway and CJ from Via, like that, like those
Wow.
mid ranges and stuff.
All right, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I never really like. I learned very early on that the way that I was screaming wasn't really. I never really tried to emulate anyone. It was always like Melissa Cross. I got onto the Melissa Cross CDs,
Oh, nice. All right.
vocal CDs very early, and they were always like, she really drills home like don't don't try and sound like anyone. You want to be the best version of yourself.
Agreed.
So that's what I've always kind of run with. I've never really tried to emulate another vocalist's sound. I just done me and tried to improve that sound. So
I like that, I think that's the type of energy you want in a vocalist, I think there's obviously like people can kind of equate you just kind of like I guess more so from like an outside perspective because everybody kind of wants to sound individualized and I do think you have in terms of the screaming aspect of the thing, I think you do have a lot of characteristics that have similar stuff to the artists that I've mentioned as well as yourself. But I also think there is a lot of difference in the people that we've mentioned. Like I do feel like it's not just like a carbon copy. There are moments where I was like, oh, okay, this is something like that only Matt does, and that's awesome. And um, I think it's good to get a barometer on where bands kind of sound similar to, but I also think it's like just go in and listen to it. If you feel like they mesh well with what you like already, then that's awesome. And if not, then maybe hopefully it'll kind of push your boundaries to check out other bands within that genre and obviously check out Harroway because I think they really have a unique styling that if you just are a fan of great metalcore music, then this is one to add to the list certainly. But I loved your recommendations for like yeah obviously the people that influenced you as well because you had some very good ones in there.
Yeah, yeah. It's more so just like being appreciative of the level that these people are at with their vocals and their vocal ability. That's what really inspires me to push harder and like develop my voice even more.
Well, I'm excited for Matt to get into opera next year so he can just like do some like crazy vocal runs and stuff.
Well, I started learning how to do tube and throat singing,
What?
so might start a song off with a bit of tube and throat singing.
That
Who
would be
knows?
very interesting. Yeah. I think you might be breaking some ground there. So, um
Will Ramos did it before me. He was the reason why I was like, oh, I'll give this a crack.
I think you're gonna do well. Obviously, Will is an ungodly human, so I don't know how I was listening to some of the Lorna Shore stuff like earlier this week, and I was just like, God, man, I don't know how he does it. It's just kind of insane. The like vocal prowess that man has is wild. He does not sound human in
Yeah,
some
but
parts.
then he'll go and do like a sleep token cover and sing like an absolute angel.
Yeah, it's
Like
wild.
his vocal diversity is incredible.
It's something to be inspired by, certainly. I think that obviously as I am not a vocalist, but I think you can look at it and just be like, wow, the type of vocal dexterity that you have to do that sort of stuff is incredible. So, Will, just, if you'd like to come on, that'd be really sick. I'd be
Yeah,
stoked.
Will come on the pod.
Hey, yeah,
Come.
come on, come on, man, that'd be sick. And then, if you could also do a collab with Harroway, I think I would cry. So, if you wanna make that dream a
Yeah,
reality, that'd be very sick.
come on, Will. Make it happen. Come do some gutturals.
Yeah, it's just come on, it's great. It's gonna be awesome. Um, the next question I have for you, Matt, is what are you currently listening to right now? What are some of the bands you've been jamming to recently?
I've been listening to fucking Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan. Oh, what?
He's like a country artist.
I
And he
know.
sings
Yeah,
that the something in the orange or whatever. Incredible! What a great song. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd really fucking because I've just been smashing that Currents album. That like the new Currents, the 4 songs that they've got out. The new Sleep Token is really good.
agreed.
Um, uh, who else? I kind of just go Spotify, whatever the playlist Spotify gives me. New like Monster Flames is good. Um, Void of Vision, Australian band,
Oh,
incredible.
crushing it. Yeah.
Um, Alira, who are coming on tour with us in May, they dropped 2 new songs. They're really fucking good too. Really stoked to be on the road with those guys, and hopefully they don't show us up on our headlining tour because I've seen them play live and they're fucking incredible. So really got to
Just do like
this
below
tour.
stand up, just like if they're good, like, if you're good, like just be just slightly below good.
No,
So
if they're good, I've got to be slightly better. I've just got to like. we're coming for you. We're coming for you,
All right, well, I
Aaliyah.
feel like it might give you some of a challenge, you know? You know, if they're crushing
Oh,
it, then you're like,
100%.
shit, I gotta do better than that. We're the
It's just
headlining
the
band.
exactly. It's it's the tour package is like stacked with incredible bands, and I was watching live footage of 2319 last night from their show with D Stunts, and fuck, they go hard. So you know, the whole tour package is very stacked, very very talented, good bands. Just fucking that we've got to then go on after.
You've
So
got your work cut out for you, I think.
we've got to bring that A game, that A game.
I think you can do it. I got faith. You know, I got I'll give you the positive energy here. You know, so I think you got it.
Yeah.
I do have to ask,
Let's
Matt, as you mentioned earlier, a country artist. Is country popular in Australia at all? Like, are there people that are just like really
it
about it?
is. Well, Keith Urban is
Well, yeah,
Australian artist, and but he's massive in America
yes,
apparently.
he is.
But
He is.
it is. I think Zach Bryan announced the tour, and it sold out within like a minute over here.
Jesus,
There was some country, or it was like Luke somebody.
Luke
I'm
Bryan.
not too sure, but maybe everyone's Brian.
I
Why is
know
everyone's
it's
last name
yeah,
Brian?
we're dumb, so I don't know. A lot of people that are like country artists are like two first names. I don't know why. Like as if it's already hard enough as a country artist. You're like, yeah, so Luke Bryan too is, and then you're like, which Luke Bryan though? Now there's like two Luke Bryans that are making music. Why? Why is that you know, like come up with it, be original, all right? Like at least Keith Urban is a little bit like just you could separate him very easily, you know. I don't get
Yeah,
it, man.
exactly.
It's wild.
But no, it is big because like we are a massive. We're like Australia is essentially the fucking Midwest. We're just like it's a part of our culture. Like our culture is farming and
That's
you
true.
know all that kind of stuff. So there is a big country presence. Like when I was growing up, I never liked country. I thought it was like shit. But then like listening to like I think there's a certain demographic of like people who grew up listening to hardcore and metalcore and like metal and emo and all that kind of stuff, who then grow out of the screaming and the aggressiveness, but still want that sadness. And it's basically country emo. So it's like that's where they find their sweet spot.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can get behind that answer. That's just not. Maybe.
Oh, not me. I don't grow out of hardcore or metalcore or anything. I listen to everything. I'm the
I
one
would just
person who's
quit at
actually
that point. If that was
like
me, you know, I would just be like, I don't want to migrate to country music. I'll just fucking just die, you know?
how am I meant to mosh to this?
Yeah. I don't know. To be fair, I'm not a country fan really, so I just find that I wouldn't just expect Australia to be like fully on board with country music. But I guess it does make a lot of sense considering it, you know, a large majority of your land is like, you know, farmland or like you do a lot of farming. I don't know. I'll have to read up on that. That's
Yeah.
my knowledge.
I mean, majority of people live in the cities, but you know, there's Australia's a very large land mass,
It is. Yeah.
and there's a lot of that is it's farmland. So, but yeah, no, it's yeah, it's an odd one. I think you can you can like everything. I think if you don't like, it's not that a genre sucks. If you don't like it, it's that you haven't found the artist who does it for
I
you
agree. Yeah.
in that genre. So hopefully we're the artist that does it for some people in metalcore, and you know we transition them over from country. But I think I feel like Gideon's they've probably got that down packed. They're country cool.
They're not, I mean, I guess kind of, but they're
with his
I mean, listen,
cowboy hat
they
and stuff.
dress like cowboys, but they do not. They are not. They are not cowboys making music
Yeah,
cowboy style. You
their
know,
music does not sound like.
like if you saw a photo of them, you're like, yeah, they look country. And then I feel like the one person would be like, oh man, they must make some really great country music. And then they go play Gideon, and they're like, fuck, God, this is not country music. Or am I listening to the same band? That's probably what they're thinking. Meanwhile, like, yeah, let's fucking
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Let's I'm stoked. Guys, if
Fuck
you
it.
can find me a
Nah.
sick country band to love, let me know in the comments. Because I haven't found one yet. I would say the only thing that has come close is like some OG like country artists, like a Johnny Cash, like those types of artists that like really write those some like real dark shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what hits me. But otherwise, I don't want to listen to Luke Bryan. I don't want to listen to any of that other shit. That's just not to me. Just doesn't rock.
Don't want to listen to anyone with the last name Brian.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah, anybody that has a last name Brian that makes country music, there's just too many of y'all. All right, like there's just too many. Just come up with a different last name. Like at least at the very least, just come up with a different last name. Then I might give you a chance. Just might, maybe, but like don't name yourself Brian. There's too many. God, I don't even know how many Brian country artists there are, but there's too many. Way too many.
There's
That's my
one
rant.
too many.
One too many. Yeah, Luke Bryan, and that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head right now. But I can imagine there's Zach. Then you have Zach Brown. There's too many. There's too many. There's too many like weird pick a niche. Like there's got to be something else that you can name yourself that isn't Zach, Luke, any generic white guy name. Like just oh man, that's just Matt got me heated for a hot second about it.
Yeah, you really feel a way about this.
I think that's the only thing that I kind of get a little like pissed off about is just like country artists with their naming conventions just don't. I don't know, just doesn't hit the same way. I'm sure there's plenty of artists that are like, man, but like you like this band and this band has like this similar name. Yeah, probably, but like at least they sound good. Objectively, that's what I could say. But without me getting more heated about this, I appreciate Matt allowing me to exercise my demons a little bit here on the pod. But I'll move it on to the next question, Matt, which is if you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
I want to do something in the orange by Zach Bryan.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Don't fuck with me like this, Matt.
That's the song I messaged Jem the other day.
No, you did not.
Like, can we cover this song? And he was like, yeah, I could do that.
No.
But
I'm
no,
just kidding.
Maybe like I know Jem wants to do. There's a rapper called NF.
Yes, great.
One of his songs he was saying, oh, we could do this cover. And like it would fit our style a bit better. But for me personally, something in the orange I think would go hard.
You're really doubling down on this. I gotta give you at least kudos for that you are gonna die on that hill.
It's just the phase that I'm going through right now.
It's not like an emo phase because that never dies.
It's not a phase, Mom.
It's not a phase. I swear to God, I'm not a country artist. Guys, I'll have Matt on again, and he'll be like, "Hey, what's going on? It's Matt. This is my side project, Matt Bryan. Now I'm doing a country album. So I decided to ask Brandon to do another interview because I know he loves country music.
Yeah. I knew he'd really enjoy.
I know he would just really be thrilled about it. Oh man! Well, guys, if you
just have so many positive things to say about it.
You really did bring out my negative side on that. I will say I normally am not that heated about it, but for whatever reason, you picked the day for me to just be absolutely
Yeah,
unhinged
you were
about it.
being all positive energy, sending all the positive vibes
I
my way,
still will
and then
send you
you
the
just
positive vibes.
you drained it all from your system, and then the moment I brought up country music, you just snapped
Yeah,
like a
that's
different
it.
person.
Yeah, it just cracked me. That's really what it came down to is country music just breaks my bones, you know. That's really
Yeah.
what really tried and true of it. But no, I for anybody watching this, I don't really want to take a shit on country music as much as my like heart and soul tells me to. I'm just not gonna do it. It's you if you like it, that's on you. So if you want to suggest that cover down in the comment section below, that's go on ahead. You do it up, you know. But that wouldn't be my personal suggestion. So hey, it is what it is. I think I would go with the NF cover if it were up to me, you know. But it's not. So I'm not in the band. So I don't have the end all be all. But if you have any
Well,
suggestions,
it'll probably end up being the NF cover because Jem writes the music, so
there we go.
if he decides that it's going to be one of them, the only thing I can do is say, no, we're not doing a cover anymore.
You're just gonna veto it, man. This is getting very political in the band. So, guys, if you want to vote, let me know down in the comment section below. Or if you have a good suggestion for Harroway, also drop it in the comments. If you do give me a country suggestion, I'll be a little bit upset about it, but I'll let it
Your
pass. Yeah.
comment will be reported.
I won't report it. I'm not that mean. If you do like it, that's on you. You know, I'm that's not a part of my listening repertoire. So that's all I'm gonna say. Uh, I'll keep it 100. But the next question I have for you, Matt. Hopefully this is less divisive. But what is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, there's so many. I really went through this huge pizza phase. I
Oof.
kept watching. I kept watching One Bite
Oh, all right.
with old mate.
Yeah.
Um, that dude who tries all the cheese slice pizzas, and I was just like, pizza. And then I just started making pizza from scratch at home to try and get that New York style.
Oh, nice.
I really like chicken, fried chicken, all that kind of stuff. Oh, I think if it's like if you put a gun to my head and you were like, pick one meal, one food that you could own, like you had to eat for the rest of your life. I think Mexican would be like the food that I get least bored of because you can mix it up a little bit
I agree.
and it's got some kind of nutritional value to it.
That's important, you know. Some might say.
But yeah, it depends what I crave. But I think pizza is like really what I go to a lot, like Manouche out at Marrickville. Shout out Manouche.
Nice.
But yeah, but like, and like it's funny though because it's like Manouche is some of the best pizza I've had, and it's Lebanese. It's not
Oh,
Italian,
wow. Okay.
so
That's going to be very
it's
divisive in
good.
the comments, I think. You know, all of my American friends
Oh,
are going to be like, that's not pizza, man. Come on.
well, it's Manouche.
Oh, man. You got him. You got him, Matt. I already believe it. Yeah, yeah. But I love that. I appreciate that you picked fried chicken as well. You know, I feel like since I've had a lot of Australian bands on, there's a certain word that I'm not gonna say because it will create this like rift in the Australian community that you know, it's he how should not be named, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
You mean vegans?
No, 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 no. That's not it. Well, in the States we call it chicken parmesan, and
Oh, okay. Yeah, chicken palmy, chicken snitty.
yeah, that's exactly it. That's I'm just gonna leave it at that, guys. You know, I'm not. We're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into the topic of that.
I'll tell you what I didn't. So like because I've been to America a couple times. I tell you what I never really like grew to like chicken and waffles, fried chicken and waffles. It never did it for me. I really liked the Lay's chips that were chicken and waffle flavors, but then
Oh,
when I actually got chicken and waffles together, it just I was like, I'd much rather eat these separately than together.
that's fair. I feel like that's a you got to get like the right thing, I don't think you're like
But then it's like because I think they the idea behind it is like the same thing as like pancakes and bacon, like maple bacon, all that kind of stuff. Like it, something about it does actually work. I tried it the other
it's like the
day.
sweet
I
savory.
yeah, but yeah, it didn't happen with waffles and chicken for me.
It's all right. Maybe next time, Matt, we'll go out for chicken and waffles.
Well, I think I've got to go to the south. I've got to go to Texas. I've got to go and actually like have it there because I had it in New York at a very highly recommended place in New York, like for chicken for this specific meal. But yeah, I think I need to go to the Midwest, go to the country.
I would agree. Yeah, you gotta go to the authentic spots. They're gonna make it for you. So I agree with that, but I also like am huge on the like sweet savory thing. That's like I love that stuff. So I don't know, guys. Suggest a chicken and waffle place in Texas for Matt to go to, and then he'll let us know. He'll report back. So
Yeah, then I'll book a small run of shows over in Texas and Mississippi and wherever else.
that'll be the chicken waffles tour. It'll be
Exactly.
Matt screaming slash singing in every chicken and waffle place that he goes to.
What the fuck's up, Denny's?
Yeah, let's go. Give me your best chicken and waffle. And then that's what happens. I don't know. I'm not a vocalist,
And
so
then the police come and they escort us out.
they're like this
So
crazy Australian guy, man. He keeps screaming chicken and waffles. He must be really hyped about it. That's great. Um, but yeah, pizza's a vibe here. Love a good slice. You know, the Northeast has gotten some good pizza. So I don't want to sound like I'm biased, but I am absolutely biased because I think we just rock with pizza. So, just saying, come to the Northeast, get some good slices. But the next question I have for you, Matt, if you were to have a dream guest on an up and coming Harroway song, who would you absolutely love to work with?
uh probably Courtney. Probably Courtney
Ooh,
from Spirit Box. I think that'd be cool. Or Brian from Currents. I reckon that'd be sick.
I think that would be
Even
sick.
Matt Heafy, you want to come do some guest vocals? Come on.
Guys, listen, if you would love to have the Holy Trinity come and bless Harroway, what you do is you go on to twitter.com and you tag, which is what I'm going to do, tag Harroway. And I'm also tagging Spirit Box, Currents, and Trivium. And then I type the word collab out and then put a question mark, of course, because you got to ask the question, right? And then, it's out on the internet. So, there is a chance it could be real.
And
So,
then yeah, exactly. It's up to the fans to retweet that
yeah.
shit.
Exactly. Look, Matt's understands the assignment. So if you want to make this happen, go do it. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to really quickly set up a Tribune a Harroway Twitter account because we don't really. I don't think we. I
It's
don't.
all
Maybe I'm
right.
just behind the ball. We just don't really use it over here in Australia.
I just
It's all
just
Facebook,
trying to get you to
Instagram,
do a
TikTok.
collaboration together. That'd be so sick. On Instagram probably. That would be even better. If you tag them all on Instagram, yeah,
You know,
that'd
just
be
tag them anywhere.
anyway, yeah. Go
Tag
see him
them
at a
everywhere.
show.
Everywhere.
Make a sign. If you're going to the Beartooth Trivium tour, just make a sign and say like collab with Harroway question mark. And then Matt Heafy is gonna like be like, who the fuck's this? But then be like, oh man, maybe I should check them out. And then he checks them out and is like blown away by this interview. And then he's gonna be like, man, I'm gonna have to reach out to Matt now. We both share the same
Yeah,
name, Matt, so it's like a match made in heaven.
exactly.
You know, you're basically the same person at this point.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
So, guys, if you want to make that
Just one of
happen,
us has significantly less guitar skills.
yeah, you're gonna have to let us know in the comments. I really don't know who has significantly less guitar skills, so let me know. I'm gonna guess it's Matt Heafy has less guitar skills, but I'm not 100% sure. So let me know.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
That was a very believable. Yeah, I think I'm all right. You know,
I'm humble. Being humble.
I dabble. You know, I dabble. Yeah, I got you. Well, you know, I appreciate being in like hard rock royalty here with Matt Heafy. I'm talking to Matt Heafy. This is great. But
You
I'm
should
waiting for someone
clickbait
to
it.
comment and be like, "This isn't Matt Heafy. What are you talking about?"
Clickbait the whole video with like an interview with Matt Heafy.
Oh man, I couldn't do that to my fans. They come for the most honest reporting here, and I can't deliver that, I just have to interview Matt Heafy of Trivium. That's really what it comes down to.
No, it's got to happen.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
got to happen
so.
now, so I don't look like
Start
I'm
targeting.
lying. Yeah, I can't be lying. That would not be good for my track record here. So, guys, just, Matt Heafy, Matt from Harroway. I mean, come on, we're garnering all the Matts, be kind of like a multiverse. So, very excited. The, the next question I have for you, Matt, is my personal favorite. I'm a huge nerd, so I love asking this. If you could be a video game character, who'd you be?
Probably Cloud from Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay. Cloud Strife.
I
About it.
liked his big sword.
That's true. The Buster Sword is pretty wild, arguably. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a huge game person. I haven't played in a very long time.
You gave a good one though for not playing games in a long time. I think you really dug deep for that one, and I appreciate it. You could have verily like dismissed the question, but you dug deep. So it's the
I
thought that counts.
pulled from my childhood.
Okay, good. That's what I'm talking about. So I love that answer. Final Fantasy VII, great game. Can't arguably one of the best Final Fantasy games. So just saying, if you haven't played it, go pick it up. Be really sick. It's an old game by now, but you could still love it. That's all I'm saying.
You may have to play it on your. Was it on PlayStation 1?
Yes, it was on PlayStation. You got it. Look, Matt, for saying that you don't know about it, I think you got it. You locked it down. So I don't know. Some deep seated stuff in there. So I love it. The next question I have for you, Matt, if you were to compile a dream tour lineup including Harroway, who would you just love to tour with?
I'd love to tour with Slipknot. I reckon that'd be sick. Bloody alarm. Everything's going off. Everything's going off today.
Everything's popping off today.
Yeah, I reckon if I could go on tour with Slipknot as the headliner.
Ooh, love it.
Trivium main support.
Oh, okay.
Currents and Harroway. I reckon that'd be sick.
Sign me up. Let's do this. World tour, guys. World domination. Both Matts on tour together. We'll just change
double Matt attack.
We'll just change Brian's name to Matt, and Corey Taylor. We'll just change it to Matt Taylor. Listen, it'll just be the Matt tour. It'll be great.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope that doesn't happen actually, but I mean that tour would be kind of ridiculous. So if you want to make that happen, very similarly to the collaboration, you could just you can just go add Trivium, Slipknot, and Currents, and they don't seem like they're doing too much right now. So I feel like you could make some pretty good headway with that. Just saying, do it up.
I don't have a lot going on.
I know people know people, so there's a possibility you could know somebody that watches my videos might be Corey Taylor's neighbor. So I'm not gonna
Well,
rule it
that's
out.
it. There's that one video all across YouTube of this band saying that they're Corey Taylor's cousin's son or something, and
Well,
it's just like
I know his son actually does
his
play in
son's
a band.
in Vexted or however you say it.
I think it's Vended. I'm pretty sure.
Vended, yeah.
VNDED.
But then there's another band
No, there's not.
coming out. Yeah, there is.
Oh my
It keeps
god.
popping up on my TikTok feed and my YouTube shorts.
I'm gonna have to find this now. I'm gonna have to dig a little deep for this. I haven't heard this, so now I have to check it out and to verify it's true.
I was like, yeah, that's one way to get people to listen.
I mean, I would argue that's probably a pretty good selling point. Just being like you might as well just say you're like Corey Taylor's son at that point.
Yeah, other lost son, long lost son.
Long lost son. Yeah, I feel like cousin's son. I just feel like that's just like you could have made that up. I don't know.
I might go post a TikTok video now with like one of the like heaviest breakdowns. It's like Corey Taylor's long lost son, and see how well it does.
I think you should. That'd be kind of wild. I would.
It's an experiment. Don't at me. Don't at me because I'm not actually Corey Taylor's son,
that you know
and
of.
I'm just doing it for clickbait.
That you know of.
Exactly, that I know of.
That you know of. DNA tests haven't proven that yet, so the verdict's not out. I'm just saying. Nothing is conclusive here yet. So guys, make sure.
Yeah, well, exactly. I've got to get on the Slipknot tour so that we can do the DNA test.
Exactly. There you go. So it all comes full circle. So if you want to make that happen, I think Matt would be very excited about that. So I think I would also be equally as excited about it as well too. So if you want to do that, if you want to throw us a bone, that'd be kind of sick. Just saying. If you want to be really
It
nice.
would be. It'd be really cool of you.
It'd be real cool of you. I think in the terms of Australians Junes, I'd be very keen.
I'd be keen as.
I'd be keen as. There we go. I'm gonna be a regular all Australian very soon. So hope you guys enjoy my content in Australia. And we just be doing. I'm exclusively just gonna be interviewing Australian bands now, going further. So be stoked. I'm stoked. Stoked. But the next question I have for you, Matt, is I know you have probably seen your fair share of live shows. But in your opinion, who puts on a great live performance in terms of the bands you've seen?
Well, Slipknot, incredible. Parkway, incredible. Trivium, incredible. Spirit Box, incredible.
Agreed.
They're probably Electric Callboy.
Oh,
very good live show. Who else? I mean, Polaris are probably one of the best, like as far as like Australian bands go.
I would agree.
For what their live performance. Northlane have like a really cool.
Agreed.
Oh, bring me the Horizon.
Oh,
because they're doing that whole like EDM backdrop screen thing.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking incredible. Yeah, I'd say all those bands.
I like that.
But definitely Slipknot and Parkway. They're on another level.
I'm very excited. Their Parkway's bringing like 3 other Australian bands to the States, and
yeah, I saw that tour. It's fucking ridiculous.
That lineup is rad. Apparently, it's like the like just heavy hitters of like the Australian metalcore scene.
It's called the Monsters of Oz tour.
which
it's
is
like,
fitting.
yeah, the basically the biggest Australian bands we've got that are.
I love it. I'm a huge Make Them Suffer fan. I had the privilege of like interviewing Sean like a couple years ago. He's a great homie, so big salutes to Sean. I just saw North Lane with Alpha Wolf a couple months ago. That was great. North Lane was awesome. Amity, I probably have seen, but I don't remember. But I know that they crush live. And Parkway, I've seen a handful of times as well, but I'm very excited to see them again live because I heard that their like stage is just gonna be like full on pyro and stuff. So just gonna be nuts. I just want to see them
Yeah,
I want to see their drummer in the cage just spinning around. I think that's like the most batshit crazy thing I think I've seen in my entire life.
yeah, because Slipknot don't do it anymore.
They don't
But
know.
then,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think I've seen Parkway didn't do it at Notfest, but I
Oh,
think you need inside. I think the rigging side of it is like a bit too complex to
sure. To be fair, yeah,
to to do on a festival stage.
yeah. I would. I mean, to be fair, I mean it looks very like intricate, so I am not surprised that they did not do it for a festival. But I have seen them do it, so I'm hoping. I think they will be doing it on this up and coming run, but can't be 100% sure. But they did say there's going to be a lot of fire, so that either like
Yeah,
makes me like slightly concerned for venue, just safety as a whole, but also at the same time, I mean, like, hey, if we go out in flames, no pun intended, at a venue, I think I would, I'd be like going down with the ship. Love it.
this is the way that I
This
wanted
is
to
the way
go.
I want to go out, I feel like that would be like my Viking funeral, just take me out to a metalcore show and never come back. I know that got super morbid, but to be fair, it would be kind of sick. Not gonna lie. Not that I want to die at a metalcore show, but I mean, I feel like that'd be a very fitting way to go out.
We all want to live long and happy lives.
Despite the songs that are written in the genre.
Yeah, and despite the fact this EP is called "I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore."
I feel like it's very aptly named for this interview where we just said we wanted to, be a part of just like living the best life possible. And then Matt's like, yeah, so we have this new album. I don't want to be here anymore. So I hope you want to be here. And, I appreciate you being here, Matt.
Yeah, no, it's coming back to the EP. It's like it is a. It sounds negative, but it's a positive message. It's not a. It's not. I don't want to be here anymore. As in, like I, want to kill myself. It's. I don't want to be here anymore in the sense of I don't want to be in the life that I'm living. I want a change. I need to change, essentially. So
That's good.
it's
Well,
that does have a positive message, not a negative message. But it's also been left up to the listener to derive from it what they need.
yeah, no, I like that. I appreciate the fact that you're leaving it up to interpretation. I also hope that people take the positive out of it and not necessarily the negative, because I think very easily you could see a title like that and be like, man, this sucks. Wow, they made an album that's just like, I don't want to be here anymore. That's like about as emo as I think you could possibly get. However, I feel like listening to the songs and kind of combing through the lyrics very quickly, I did kind of get that sort of like positive reinforcement. Like, I feel like there's been times in my life where I've been stuck and didn't know what I wanted to do and like would need a change. So I can resonate a lot with that. So very excited for people to like kind of delve into this and be a little bit more invested in the EP when it comes out. So, well, it'll be out by the time this comes out. I don't know why I'm talking about it like as if it's not out, because it's out now. I gotta believe it's out in my heart, even though
Out now, stream it everywhere.
out now. But the next question I have for you, Matt, is if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month, and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would that be? It's 1 month though. I feel like that makes it a
This,
little easier.
if it's a month, then probably Something in Orange by Zach Bryan.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't have actually left. Is that actually your answer though?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow.
Just
Okay.
because right now, I'm big into it.
Okay,
I
that's
think
fair.
if it was like one album for the rest of the time, I'd probably go. Uh, I'd probably go Ascendancy by
Oh,
Tribune.
there we go. I like that. I'm gonna just pretend that was your answer and not here. No, I'm just kidding. No offense. I feel like I've offended all like two people who like country that watch my videos, so I'm sorry. Um, but I no, I all joke about country aside, I feel like people can like what they like and that's fine. And there's probably music that I like that you don't. So, hey, it is what it is. People have personal preferences and that's great. So, if you like country music, very sick. And, thank you for watching this video. I don't know why you would be here otherwise, but, I do appreciate you being here. The, the, I feel like I simultaneously gave someone a compliment and also backhanded complimented them as well. So, we're just crushing it right now. But the final question I have for you, Matt, is arguably my favorite question. I mean, I obviously love talking about video games, but this one I think it means a lot more to me. I've been interviewing bands for well over 7 years now, and I love doing this. This is something of a passion of mine. I'm sure you can resonate with music and doing this. But why do you make music, especially given the types of trials that we talked about early on in the interview? Very easily, you could be very dismissive about making music or not wanting to do it, or not even releasing, your EP. I don't want to be here anymore. Like, there's a lot of things that go into a band, and very arguably, a lot of people say it's a terrible investment to make, but I want to know what kind of fuels your passion to continue to make music and be a musician and put that stuff out there.
I just love it. I just love doing this. Like, I've been doing music since I was 12,
Whew.
and you know, I stopped for a little bit in between the two bands because we weren't doing anything for 2 years,
Sure.
and those were the worst 2 years of my life. Like, I really like creating music is just it's just a part of who I am. It's just a part of me now, and I just can't see myself not doing it. Um, I just love it. I just love to do it.
There
I
we
love
go.
the connection that you make with fans. Like, I love playing a show and having people come up to us after and being like, "Oh, you got one that one song really resonated with me," or whatever. Like, it's cool. It's cool that you can impact people with some words that you wrote in your room. So, yeah, no, I just love it. I just love doing this.
And to kind of follow that up and piggyback on it, Matt, like, what do you want people to take away from I don't want to be here anymore? Because I think oftentimes, like, I like when artists kind of leave it up to the interpretation of the listener, but I didn't know if there was any sort of intentionality behind, like, listening to it and what you want people to kind of garner from it.
No, I think I got out of writing it what I needed to get out of writing it. So now it's completely up to them whether they just they take a message from it or they just enjoy listening to it. Anything is fine with me. It's all up to you.
There we go. Well, love that answer. As someone who, I can tell the passion and, what you talk about and obviously how much Harroway means to you. So, I appreciate you for coming on and, being able to speak about the band and just kind of just having a good time overall. But I'll leave the floor to you, Matt. Tell the people where they can find Harroway at. Where they can pick the album up if they can pick up a physical copy of it. I didn't see anything, so obviously ask you. Come to the source. Tell people what you guys have coming up in regards to the band. This will be coming out in March. I was gonna say March, but it's not. We are far past March now at this point. May 29th is when it's gonna be releasing.
It's actually April.
No, I know. I'm saying I'm releasing this in May. That's why I messed it up in saying March because May and March.
Like, yeah. Okay.
We're time jumping, man. I'm sorry. We'll just cut this bit out. We'll make sure we're.
Nah, this is great. You can check out Harroway on all major streaming platforms, and that's like our album, our EP. I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore will be out there on all major streaming platforms. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We've got TikTok. I'm gonna go quickly make a Twitter. So Harroway will have Twitter.
Don't feel obligated to do that.
And YouTube. We got a bunch of sick music videos that our friends at Neck Up Collective filmed for us, and so check that out.
There we go. And you're also going on tour as well, so.
Yeah, we're going on our Australian headlining tour for I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore with Alira and 2319. So if you are Australian, come down to a show. That'd be sick.
I'm not Australian, but if I was Australian, I would be there. So what are the dates, Matt? Do you have the dates of when this mega tour is happening?
Yeah, so we play Adelaide on the 19th. We play Melbourne on the 20th. And then we have a little break. Then we play Sydney on the 26th and Brisbane on the 27th. And then we have another break, and then we play Darwin with Make Them Suffer.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
June 10th.
There we go. Well, you should go out to that one. But I'll also make sure before this comes out to share the entire tour. So then that's the time where you should give them a follow. Again, this would all be happening post tense. So, but listen, if you live in Australia and you haven't heard of Harroway before, then that's on you, man. So go check them out, and please go give them some love because they absolutely rock. And I'm very excited to check the EP out. Again, it will also be a live link for that will be in the description of this, so you can watch it and feel like slightly sad because you didn't watch it live with me. So I'm going to be very upset, but you might be a little upset, and I'd hope that, you would click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on, the content that I put out. So, you be in the know, and that's important, especially if you live in Australia, because I've just been having a lot of Australian bands on. So if you live under a rock, then this is the prime opportunity to check out all of these bands. I don't know why you haven't already, because that just seems like a slight on your part. But hey, we aren't pointing fingers at anybody. You should just follow Harroway so you can keep out on the lookout. But if you enjoy this interview, share, like, and subscribe. Make sure to go follow the links below. Go give Harroway all of the love because they crush it, and you should be keeping an eye out for them because they're going to be awesome. So want to give a huge shout out to Ophelia again, and again want to give a shout out to Matt for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.